Hello and welcome back to another episode of Here to Edify. I am your host Astrid and this is episode 21.
Here to edify.
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 To edify.
This episode will be a little different. Honestly, it's just a check-in. I actually was not going to put out an episode today, but in the midst of trying to edit an episode that just wasn't ready. Time got away from me. It just wasn't ready. It just kind of dawned on me, maybe it was the Holy Spirit, that I was just like, well, let me just put out an honest podcast about just like where I am. And so what is tonight for me and will be last night for you all, just decided like I'm late and up at like 10 something. I sound old, right? 10 something, but I got things to do. I gotta be in the bed. But just up recording, thinking on some of my favorite podcasters, this couple. Some of the episodes of theirs that blessed me the most were the ones where they were just open and honest about where they were, what they were going through. And so, I don't intend for this to be long. And I'm like, dang, y'all have been getting a lot of just me. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But so essentially, like, I think that I have come to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm not okay. And I mean, and even as I say that, it's like, I'm good. Like I'm operating. I'm living. Like God is good. Like honestly, but I think that there is a piece of me that maybe needs the freedom to say I'm not okay. Like there's just been a lot going on in these past few months, really just since the beginning of the year, dealing with loss in my family, but then also just dealing with like loss of different opportunities that I was really hopeful for. And so I should preface all of this by like, I understand that like the Lord is sovereign and he has plans for me, but I don't think that enough of the time I just give myself an opportunity to just be like, man, I'm mourning. For those that know me well, they're aware that I have been in a very prolonged season of just suffering. And I'm just like feeling the weight of that. It's been a long time. I won't go into depths. I'm trying to grow and like, be transparent, but with boundaries, with limits. Cause I be out here like this was going on, but that's not necessary. This is really just me just saying like, I'm not okay. Like there is a lot going on in the world of my mind, that I haven't even fully processed through. And some of it is, what is going on in my world. But then also I think a lot of it too is just like what's going on in the world. And so, I think just the best way that I can describe what I am experiencing is just like a state of mourning. And I don't right now know how to get out. I am fighting tooth and nail, y'all. I'm fighting for faith. But I also like as much as I am mourning, as much as I am fighting to believe the promises of God, I can't mention that without mentioning the fact that, like, as I'm fighting, like, the Lord has been gracious to, like, carry me. It's like I see his faithfulness. And so maybe that's why sometimes I really struggle with saying I'm not okay, or just saying that, like, this has been a long season and I am worn out. I am tired. I am frustrated. I have had moments of anger. It's hard for me sometimes to say those things because I am simultaneously experiencing the real reality of the Lord being good. Like, literally, even within this week, just like monetary provision that I'm like, man, like, Lord, you love me and you are looking out for me. And love is not me being able to see how this story ends here on earth, by the grace of God. We know how the story ends eternally, but like how the story ends here on earth, like that, like mean, or not even end, but like love is not me having to see how, what the next chapter looks like. It is the fact that, like, the Lord is walking with me. Like, the Lord he's walking with me. And I say that, like, to just be like, I feel his presence. And so, yeah, I mean, not to sound super spiritual, but the reality of it is, when you have experienced, are experiencing the grace of God, the presence of God, the comfort of God, like, I mean, you got to speak on it, right? And so this is me just being real. Like, I'm not gonna fake the funk. Like, I am simultaneously not doing well. I'm simultaneously fighting for faith and being carried by the Lord, and being cared for by friends, and being provided for. And so, yeah, I mean, just all that to say, I'm here. And even I have to be comfortable with sometimes being okay with the lack of grandeur that comes with, I'm here. I don't have anything else for you, but the fact that I showed up, but the fact that I'm here, yeah, but the fact that I'm standing. And so that's where I am. That's how I'm doing. That's where life has me right now. I'm really, really in a desperate way praying that this year has more in store for me. And as I pray that, I pray that humbly, because I'm like, Lord, you have, yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys hear the back and forth, like, yeah, like I said, God has definitely just provided, but I pray that there is more, that there is a ripe harvest really on the other side. And so, yeah, Lord willing, next week, in the weeks to follow, I will, I'll be back with more interviews, with hopefully even in the coming weeks, merchandise or ways where I can, get you all to support in in other ways than just listening. But for those that listen, for those that are encouraged, I praise God. But also like for those that have been so sweet as to tell me that you have been blessed by this podcast in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, that really means more than you know. Yeah, like we never know where someone is mentally, what space they're in when we pay them a compliment, when we tell them we're praying for them, tell them we love them, show them we love them. And so I always like to have like, what's the point of it all? And maybe I need to be okay with sometimes there not being a point, but just like here, this is where I am and I'm leaving it. But if I did have to give something for you all to take away from this little mini podcast, it would just be to just say the thing, give the flowers, literal flowers, figurative flowers, give them out, and not sparingly, whether or not you are made aware of their impact, really isn't that important. What is important is that you have been faithful and obedient to give, and let the Lord deal with how that falls. And really just to say, like, I genuinely do believe that more times than not, like, those random words of encouragement, those random words of and then, it doesn't have to be words, literally, like I said, just giving flowers to those that we love, those that we are fond of, those that we like, giving their flowers on this side of the grave. Man, I feel like that sounds super depressing. But giving those flowers means more than you know. I know it has for me, and I believe that I could speak for a lot of people that, like, let's root for each other in a way that really does believe that, like this is beneficial, like, let's edify one another, and really just understanding that sometimes we don't know that led to the upbuilding of an individual. But yeah, just I'm rambling. Don't let the fear, I'm speaking to people like myself potentially, where sometimes I'm like, oh, this is super random, or this is super weird. Don't let that hinder you from being a blessing. Because I think all words of encouragement, all, just like acts of kindness and service, like that's a blessing to the person that is receiving it. And then you find in turn that it was a blessing to you. So, yeah. This is like super short, and that's purposely I want it to be short. That's my update. That's where I am. Hopefully you all will be, like I said, seeing more in the coming weeks, more ways that you can support, and just really engage with the podcast, with the, hopefully, what I can call the brand, because we are here for multiple reasons, and I think one of those reasons really is to edify, and so yes, I want you all to listen and be edified by what you hear, but also physically where you are, be here to edify those around you, those that the Lord has placed within your sphere. And so, there you have it. That's it. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to this little mini episode of Here to Edify. Be sure to like, subscribe, and if you've enjoyed this podcast, share it with someone you love. And as always, I hope to catch you listening next time.